Welcome, Solid Rock family. You're now tuning in to another episode of Solid Rock Entertainment with your host on the Central Coast. Today's episode we'll be speaking with George Toler. He is the co-founder, or the founder I should say, of Jamaikin Crazy, which is located in Cocoa Beach, Florida. How's it going today, George?
It's going great, man.
All right.
How you doing?
All right, doing good. Today's a good day. Before I jump into the questions that I have for you, Jamaikin Crazy, I've always for years wondered, how did you come up with that name?
Yeah, it was actually floating around in a Las Vegas trade show convention for nightclubs and entertainment.
Okay.
So, director promotions for Hilton hotels up and down the east coast of the U.S. He contacted me, and I was already doing a reggae at Rialto Airport Hilton on Wednesday nights.
Okay.
With live music, live reggae, and DJs. So that was already in effect, and this was 1990.
Right.
And he asked me, would you consider moving it from that Hilton to our Hilton, which is a separate owner?
Okay.
And I said, sure. And so later we did it, and it was successful. The radio station manager for WA1A goes, you should consider trademarking that name. So I hired an attorney, and nobody had it for the state of Florida.
Okay.
So that I incorporated my business, Tropical Productions, and Jamaikin Crazy was trademarked.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. And what artist or moment grabbed your attention to make you realize that this is a genre that you would want to invest in and be a part of?
I would say the first live concert I ever went to, I was living in Miami, and I went to see I went to see Third World.
Okay.
Yeah, I had met Inner Circle the year before in their studios, and we just talked and we worked together once. But when I saw this concert with Third World, the first live reggae concert, I was just blown away. I was at the Night Center in Miami.
Okay.
And it was amazing. And then they had also was performing. A lot of people don't know this band, but really good singers, the Mighty Diamonds.
Oh yeah.
Yes.
Pretty big band.
Yes,
they're pretty good. Yeah.
Three guys mainly. Their vocals are incredible.
Yeah.
And so those two bands together just like lit a spark in me that this is what I want to do.
Right.
I'm tired of this corporate job, and I moved back from Miami to Melbourne and just introduced myself to the general manager of the Holiday Inn. And said, what do you think about this idea of doing live reggae music on weekends? He agreed.
Wow. I mean, I would say the Mighty Diamonds, what a combination. The Mighty Diamonds and Third World together.
Yes.
Yeah, I think that will change anybody's life, man.
Yeah, it was amazing.
Wow.
Very talented. They're still touring.
They still,
Yeah.
Actually, why am I acting surprised?
Yeah, because they played at Palm Bay.
Yeah,
right
Third
there.
World.
Yes. Amazing.
Okay, cool, man. Compared to the 70s when you had artists such as Bob Marley, Peter Tosh, and Dennis Brown, do you think that where reggae is right now, do you think that reggae is in a good place today?
Yeah, it's evolved and it's changing. Like any genre of music, rock or jazz, there's many different forms and styles.
Right.
The reggae today that's doing very well are these groups from California and Hawaii.
Okay.
And it all started with Sublime. And they're like a surf punk rock band, but they slowed it down. The kids gravitated, and now there's several groups that are doing very well. They're touring. They come to Cocoa Riverfront Park and sell 5,000 tickets.
Wow.
Yeah, $35 a pop. Slightly Stupid is one of them.
Yes.
Revolution,
I've heard of them.
Yes. So all of their influences were every artist you just named. Bob Marley and Dennis Brown and Peter Tosh, So they were influenced by all Jamaican music growing up in Hawaii. Surfers love reggae music, most of them.
Wow.
Yeah, so it's all coming like full circle. So they're kind of paying tribute to those artists that started it.
The work is paying off.
Yes.
And as some local reggae acts would say back in the 80s, reggae gone international. So what would you love to accomplish with your mission?
To just continue doing what I'm doing. So to not let the music die, at least in Brevard County, and keep it alive. And just my biggest thrill is to watch people have a good time, enjoy themselves.
Okay.
Yeah. from bringing the music to the Space Coast.
Most definitely. Well, most definitely. And what do you think Jamaican Be Crazy has to offer to the people?
Fun.
Okay, I've seen that.
Yes, it's basically an easy music to listen to.
Yes.
It's not complicated, and it has a great rhythm. So even if you don't understand the music, and you're listening and it's playing somewhere,
Right.
you find your foot moving or your hands moving to
Right.
it or your head going to it because it has a groove that's very attractive.
Most definitely, and a serious bass line.
Oh yeah, the drum and bass. Sly and Robbie.
There you go.
There's a perfect example. Speaking of, chosen by many American artists to record just for their drum and bass.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the Rolling Stones used them. A lot of different artists, rock bands have used them.
Sly and Robbie.
Pop artists. Yeah, they'll go to Jamaica or they'll lay down some tunes or ask them to send a rhythm track, via the internet now.
Right.
And they use that. Sly and Robbie give them full credit for their drum and bass to put songs together.
They're big influential musicians.
Yeah, it's very solid.
And I believe that back in the mid to late 70s and possibly early 80s, Sly and Robbie, I believe they played backup for Peter Tosh back in the late 70s.
Yes.
Yeah. So, you not being born in Jamaica or growing up in the culture, do you think your knowledge of the music somewhat seems to be underestimated? Have you ever come across that before? Any underestimation of your knowledge of the music?
Maybe a few times. But by doing it for so long and talking to so many artists and studying these artists, online or their bios,
Right.
and then working with them, I've just gotten to know the culture. And going down to Jamaica at least a dozen times I've been down.
Okay.
Love it. Yeah, not just the tourist areas,
Right.
but Kingston.
Okay.
Spend time.
You step outside.
Yes, yeah. Really understand the people in the island and the culture.
Okay.
By eating the food, staying with the families of Jamaican families, you get a much better assessment of what Jamaica and the culture, the music's all about, as opposed to getting off a cruise ship
Right.
and just hanging around Montego Bay or Ocho Rios. It's completely different when you go to the other side or go up in the mountains.
Okay. I mean, this is not to stray away from the music a little bit, but since you brought up that you've been to Jamaica a few times, has there been a memorable moment that you can't forget about, especially stepping out of Mobay and the tourist areas? Has there been a memorable moment in Jamaica that you can remember?
Yeah, I would say renting a car and driving across the island to Kingston and hanging out for the day and just meeting up with some artists. But there was a DJ, he still has a radio show, WUCF, Reggae Reflections, trainer, they call him, Lass Adams. He's Jamaican, and he lives in Orlando, and he has a Sunday night reggae show. It's a pretty good show. It's been going on for over 20 years. And he invited me to go. So we flew down together and we stayed with his family right outside Kingston for a week. Met a lot of big people, Shabba Ranks management and other people in the music industry. But living with his family and just being in that environment for a whole week, it was really profound. It had an effect on me.
Yeah, Jamaica does that.
Yeah.
Jamaica does that.
Yeah.
So you have some extended